1:07. Up next, the men's mile, where you see the American record holder Steve Scott, along with Joe Falcon. The long jump, just one of several records to fall in the past year. One record that continues to stand up is in the mile. Steve Graham set the world record in 1985. Steve Scott, the American record in 1982. Nobody has been able to top that mark, so he continues to run.
And Steve Scott looked so great indoors, winning the Sunkist meet. Very popular athlete all over the United States, all over the world. And of course, he grew up in the Los Angeles area, so the Sunkist indoor meet down in that area was a popular victory for him.
Steve Scott, he won this event last year. I know it's early in the outdoor season, but would you expect the time or the winning time today to be under 4 minutes?
Well, I would think all these guys would want to run under 4 minutes. It's windy, as we've pointed out in many of the other events. When you have a wind reading of 2.0 meters per second, that's a wind of 4.47 miles per hour. And so we've seen readings up to 3.5, 3.7. So the wind is gusting in the 10 mile per hour range. That's tough on the backstretch for these mile athletes.
Well, with this large field, I guess we can just say that was a clean start. No pushing and shoving so far. Doug Padilla moving up quickly to the front.
Well, you can see Steve Scott with the bright orange shorts there, tucked in about 4th or 5th place, and that's his experience telling. He knows that if he's behind these other guys, he won't have to battle the wind. Whoever takes the lead is going to have to fight that wind for the rest of the field.
Darryl Frerker is the one fighting the wind right now. He is in the lead. Doug Padilla right behind him.
He won the Olympic Festival a year ago and made it to the Olympic trials in '88, only to be eliminated in the first round.
You also see Sam Kibiri from Washington State, also from Kenya, now in 3rd.
Kibiri won the outdoor NCAA title at the 1,500 meters or metric mile distance a year ago. Also runs an excellent steeplechase, studying computer engineering at Washington State. And they went through the first quarter mile in just over 60 seconds. So, as you pointed out, the 4-minute barrier, not such a significant barrier these days, but with these windy conditions, may be a factor.
It continues to be Darryl Frerker in the lead. Doug Padilla 2nd. Sam Kibiri 3rd. Steve Scott 4th. And now, making a move is Mark Mastelier, number 403.
Mastelier, who went to Stanford University, so he's run for a long time in this particular area. It's going to be an interesting year for the United States in this event, the 1,500 meters, as there's no standout athlete, no athlete who's been putting great times out there for others to run after. A lot of the veterans, like Steve Scott and Jim Spivey, still around. Younger athletes like Joe Falcon, and Falcon himself has broken 350 in the mile, have not been quite as consistent as some of the veterans, so they've got to put their consistency together.
Doug Padilla has now dropped back. It's Mark Mastelier and Darryl Frerker.
2:03.4 at the half mile. So now it's become a very tactical race, more like the kind of race you may see at an Olympic trials final, where people are just concerned about being among the first 3. The time really not a relevant factor in an Olympic trials or even an Olympics kind of race. People looking for medals or places.
Sam Kibiri now moves up to 2nd. He's challenging for the lead.
Well, Kibiri really running something of a savvy race. I talked with his coach, John Chaplin, earlier today. He's, of course, pointing towards the Pac-10 meet next weekend in the NCAAs, and he said, finals are over. I don't like my guys sitting around with nothing to do. I brought him down here for a little race.
We haven't heard much from Joe Falcon, but he's running in the inside and starting to move up now.
Falcon ran 3:57 this indoor season. He's battled some injuries over the last couple of years.
And the final lap. Mark Mastelier.
It's really going to be key to be in good position over this last lap as we look at the 3/4 mile split of 3:04. Very slow. And Whelan making a big move. He won the indoor NCAAs in 1990 with his PR of 3:58.7. But now you see Falcon and Scott moving into striking position.
So a quick lead for Bob Whelan, but now it's Falcon and Scott challenge coming. Here's Joe Falcon. And here comes Steve Scott. Joe Falcon looks over his shoulders. He knows he has the race won. Joe Falcon followed by Steve Scott. And we mentioned we hadn't heard much of Joe Falcon, but he ran a very smart race. Stayed out of trouble on the inside.
Well, the Goodwill Games champion knows how to win races. He positioned himself perfectly throughout the race as Whelan made a very bold and I think an excellent move for him. Falcon slipped into second place and turned on a great sprint down the home stretch. 4:01 unofficially, so he ran about 57, 56 seconds for the last lap.
And with that quick final lap, Joe Falcon does win the men's mile. Steve Scott was second.